Good evening. I'd like to welcome you all this evening. I'd like to thank President Trump for nominating me for this position. I'd also like to thank the U.S. Congress for accepting his nomination. I take the role of Secretary of Homeland Security very seriously. When I look at this crowd, I see Americans, and one thing Americans love is their country and the safetiness for their country. When I go home every night, I look at my precious daughters, and I want nothing more than their safety. And right now, I fear for their safety when they go out in public. That's because the U.S.'s crime rate is growing. We're seeing an increased amount of drug wars and gang violence as well. One possible reason I think this is happening is due to the amount of illegal immigrants entering from Mexico. These immigrants who enter our borders illegally and sneak through bring with them illegal weapons and drugs. And these are not just any kinds of drugs such as weed. They're bringing things such as cocaine, LSD, and meth. And these drugs are highly valued in the drug market, which has caused some very bad drug wars. Also, they're bringing with them vastly extreme weapons such as AKs and ARs. With these weapons, they're being distributed to gangs. Gang violence in big cities such as Chicago and New York are growing. Right now, 1/5 of all prison populations are Hispanics. And because of this, I think we need to take extreme measures to secure our borders. One way I think we should do this is what President Trump suggested earlier, is building a wall. What a wall does is it covers up any minor ways that these immigrants can enter a country. Once the wall is built, they have only several different ways to enter in the ways, and that's the specific ports in which people must enter the country. From there, there'll be supreme background checks, searches, and lockdowns to make sure nothing illegal is entering our country or no one illegal is entering our country. With this wall and their border checks, I feel like our country will be a lot more safer for the Hispanic issue we're having. Another issue we have right now in our country is the growing threat of ISIS and other terrorist groups. As we've seen with the shooting in Orlando this past year, we've learned that ISIS is not afraid to attack anywhere, as they have attacked in Paris, France, and Brussels, Belgium. ISIS must be stopped. And what now ISIS is doing is they're sending vast numbers of Syrian refugees every other place. And one place these Syrian refugees are coming is the U.S., and I agree, these Syrian refugees are in need of help. They're scared, they've been forced out of their homeland, and they need someplace for safety. What's also going on is not all these people entering our country are refugees. Some of them are members of ISIS themselves. For this issue, I suggest a temporary shutdown of our borders for these Syrian refugees until we can figure out a safe and secure way to determine who's here in form of help and safety and who's here in form of trying to hurt us, such as ISIS. I believe that America was built on immigration, and I welcomely open these Syrian refugees with open arms and want them to embrace our American culture. But the threat of ISIS is so extreme that we can't bring them over right now. Once we've figured out a way to fix this issue, I figure America will once again be great again. I'd like to thank you all for attending this evening, and I'd like to thank once again Trump for nominating me.